Hi, my name's John here. I'm the designer of games like Sensible Soccer, Cannon Fodder, Whizball, Parallax, and Sociable Soccer, and I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast.
Up next on the One Up Gaming podcast is 10 minutes of nothing. Will it be the team talking about nothing or a guest interview? Stick around and find out now. It's 10 minutes of nothing. Yeah, 10 minutes of nothing.
Hi everybody, still David, still One Up Gaming, still episode 406 of the One Up Gaming podcast. Now we're going to go through the 10 minutes of nothing, and for this 10 minutes of nothing we're going to talk about England. So I do apologise all you lovely American people and Spanish people and Canadian people and Indian people and other nations who don't give a monkeys about England and the European Championships. But we have to talk about it, we really do, because I've got to fill a 10-minute section of the podcast. I tell you what, I've got home from work tonight and oh my god, my eyes are absolutely burning. I think I'm going to have a proper early night tonight. But anyway, 10 minutes of nothing, if you don't know, is a section of the podcast where we choose a topic or we have an interview with someone and we have 10 minutes to fill for that topic. Hopefully we can get to the point where the timer ends, and once that happens, that means that we've done a good job. We've managed to fill 10 minutes of the podcast. Hopefully it's not like the other week where we were about 4 minutes into it and it's like, I have nothing else to say. I'm sorry. I'm useless. Anyway, Games Inspired Music, it's an album, it's available now, it sponsors us each week, and 20% of each sale will go to the Child's Play charity. You can buy our first 100 podcasts, available at audiobooksontape.com. Search One Up Gaming, and £1 of each sale will go to the Diabetes UK charity. We have 3 books available, and they are all like the 32-bit sort of generation-ish. So there's the unofficial Sega Saturn collection, the unofficial Nintendo 64 collection, and the unofficial PlayStation collection. Each book has got a minimum, so I think the Nintendo 64 has got 254 pages, and then the Saturn has got 290, no, is it 292? Can't even remember. I think it's 292 and the PlayStation got 294. Full colour pages, and has over 100 games each. It also talks about the different colourways of the consoles, different specifications, modifications, different controllers, different racing wheels, memory cards. It goes through all the stuff. Each one's got 2 or 3 pictures, full colour, and at least like 100 words talking about each sort of like thing on the actual dock. So buy these, give them as presents. We put our heart and soul into them, so thank you all for your nice words. So we will go into the 10 minutes of nothing to talk about England. I'll have one last yawn. Oh. I'm absolutely exhausted. So yeah, so the 10-minute timer starts now. And yeah, so the England football team, I think we were playing, was it Slovakia? Maybe I should have got this up before I started. England. This is England v Pakistan. No, we don't want that. That must be... yeah, so we played Slovakia, just gone. I watched it as I was like getting ready to record all this and then take my wife to work. And it was an embarrassment. It was an absolute embarrassment. Now, you might say, oh, in the end they got through and that's the main thing because they're now favourites to win the European Championships because they're in the easy side of the draw and blah blah blah, all this other crap. But they were playing. They didn't defend very well. They let them through, and they scored after 25 minutes. And after that, it was like possession by England, but it was all sideways and backwards, and then sideways and backwards, and they nearly scored again. I think we sort of like passed it through the back, and John Stones wasn't looking, and it just went straight past him and went straight to one of their players, and then they tried to score from 40 yards out, and it just went wide. But that could have been another massive embarrassment of a goal. And then everyone and the commentators and everyone was screaming for Southgate, the manager, to make substitutions to change it up because nothing was happening. And I don't think he really made any substitutions until about the 70th minute. And then I think it was only one play that came on. And yeah, it was just bloody horrible. Hard watch. And then it was like it went through the full time. Slovakia is still winning 1-0. And then during like the injury time, the added time, whatever you want to call it, 5 minutes into a 6-minute add-on, Jude Bellingham scored. Quite a nice, I wouldn't say overhead kick, but like a overhead side volley sort of thing. And it nestled into the bottom corner of the goal. So that basically made it go into extra time. And I don't know what Southgate said before the started extra time, but like 1 minute after the restart, Harry Kane scored. And it was just a pump up ball, like straight up in the, just pumped it up. And I don't know if it was Eze, like, nicked it on, and then Ivan Toney headed it through, and then Harry Kane was there to finish it off. Which, that's what he wants. But when you're watching the game, Harry Kane's dropping so far back, but he's not got the speed to get back up front. And Jude Bellingham wasn't like making the darting runs like he normally used to do. He seemed to be going like wide. Phil Foden, there was one point in the game where it was quite early on in the game, like half hour in sort of thing, maybe a bit longer, where Kieran Trippier got the ball and he went to pass it to Foden on the wing, but Trippier got the ball, controlled it, turned, and Foden was back into the middle of the pitch, not on the left wing. And he sort of like, you could see Trippier, like his hands going, oh, what are you doing over there? Get over there. So he had to turn back and go back to the defenders again. And it was just, I do think Phil Foden is probably England's most gifted, talented, skillful player. But when you're head and shoulders above everyone else in that sort of department, you don't fit in to that team. He plays amazing for Man City because all of them move and rotate and change positions, and you don't need to be fast. You've just got the ball and pass and move. And whereas for England, I liken it to my team, Newcastle. We don't have the skillful players as some of the other teams, but we have a striker who's amazing, and we have two fast wingers. So basically, we just press like crazy and then break as fast as they can. And yes, they end up with like 35% possession at the end of the game, but they can win teams like 4-5-0 just because they allow them to have the ball. And then as they're starting to come forward, they just break, get the ball, and just attack. and it can be amazing to watch these sort of games. Whereas, like, I think England are trying to do the Man City sort of possession based, but the rest of the team just don't seem to be able to keep possession. They're very bad at passing 10 feet, 10 yards, what you want to say. And yeah, it was just a terrible game. So far in these championships, it's not good. But yeah, so I think if you go through it, say, so where are we? So qualifiers we don't care about. Yeah, so basically, like, we played Serbia the first game, and the first 30 minutes, England were absolutely sensational. And then for the next hour, they were absolutely diabolical. Serbia should have won that game. And then we went to play Denmark. We scored a goal, a fluky goal, and then they scored, like, it was a long shot, but it was like a good goal they scored. But again, Denmark should have won, but England held on. They played really bad. And then and then we played Slovenia. Is it Slovenia we played? Yeah, we played Slovenia, and I think we drew with them as well. I don't know how we keep drawing and getting through, because that is just bad. But yeah, so, like, we won 2-1 after extra time, and then the next game we've got Switzerland. They beat Italy a couple of days ago, and now we're playing Switzerland. Now again, I'll say it, we should beat Switzerland. It's the same as, like, Slovakia. We should beat Slovakia. We ranked 5th in the world, or England are ranked 5th in the world, and Slovakia are ranked 45th in the world. And I know things aren't won on paper, but it's a bloody 40-point gap, man. You guys. And I think Switzerland, will struggle more with, because I think they're not as defensively orientated as Slovakia was. But Switzerland have 2 or 3 really good, skillful attacking players, and if they're on their game, then it could be a very hard game for England, because I just think that England aren't great. I do believe it's the front 3 that need to be changed. I didn't care if it was Gallagher or Manu in midfield, because they're not playing really through the midfield, or they're not doing the really good passes through there. To actually get better, they need to have, like, Gordon and Saka on the wings as pace, and play through balls through over the top to let these players run through and run on. Whereas at the minute, they get the ball, turn back and pass back to the midfielders. Midfielder gets the ball, passes back to the defender. Then they go back to the next defender, up to the right back. He goes back to the defender, and it's just an absolute disgrace to watch. When it was 95th minute, I was just glad. Yeah, 10 minutes is up. I've managed to drag it out for 10 minutes. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Do you think England were lucky as lucky can be? Or do you actually think that they're saving themselves for the next round and they're just doing the bare minimum to get through? Let us know. Leave comments, leave chats. I'm going to yawn again. Oh, God. So, yeah, let us know. What's the word? I'm embarrassed to be an England football fan. I just think that they were appalling, absolutely appalling. But anyway, One Up Gaming, episode 406 of the One Up Gaming podcast. So I guess we'll end it here and say thank you all for watching. David, One Up Gaming podcast 406. Back in a sec.